Hello my fellow organisers and welcome to Let's Organise and to my world of being organised. Today I am in my teenager's bedroom and we are nearing the end of summer, so it is time now to go through his cupboard to check his clothing and also to see what he will need for upcoming autumn and winter seasons. So I will go through his cupboards to check whether his clothing still fits him and what we need to buy. So let me show you how I do that. I will show you now how I go about on sorting out the cupboard. Just a tip on being organized. We've got a monthly calendar on the cupboard door. So what goes on there will be the extramural activities for that month, also upcoming tests and then also birthdays, and then their schoolwork on a 7-day cycle. So he'll just put the days on as a reminder for him to know which books to pack for what day. And then also underneath that monthly he's got the 7-day cycle, so he then knows, it says then there day one, okay, day one, and then the books that he needs for that specific day. This is just a way for him to be organized and have all the books that he needs for a specific day and also to be prepared for his tests. Right, so let me show you. This side of his cupboard has got his t-shirts and underwear and pajamas and shorts in here. On the other side is the hanging cupboard for all his pants and tops. And then also I don't allow too many things on the outside of the cupboard, so the inside of the cupboard is where he can stick the things up that he wants to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to unpack the cupboards, then I am going to wash it out, and then while that dries I then go through the different clothing items. Number one, to check whether it is still in a good condition. Number two, whether it still fits him. And then number three, what I need to buy again. So let's do that. Okay, so I have unpacked everything now. So the shelves are empty. What you will also notice is that I've got labels on all the different shelves, and also I keep the bedding in the cupboard also, so it's much easier then to change the bedding because everything is in the room that belongs here. So I've got bedding, and then I've got their towels, so that is their bath towels and also their swimming towels I keep in here, and their swimming costumes. Then I've got t-shirts, and then I've got underwear and socks and pajamas, and then the following shelf is for his school clothes, the ones that we can fold up, and then the bottom one is for his shorts. So then what I do is I've just packed everything onto the bed in the different piles or the categories that I've got here, and then I will then go through each and every item. So you'll see I've got the different piles on the bed, and I've put a few on his desk because there's not enough space on his bed. Right, so we're going to start with the t-shirts. I'm just going to make a way here, and I literally then go and open up every shirt like that. Once I've opened all the shirts, I will then go through the item, and I will literally do it piece by piece, and I will check whether there's thread. So here's a thread, and I will then take the scissors and I will cut that off. So by doing this on a quarterly basis or even twice a year, you then ensure that your clothing is always in a good condition. So I've checked that, then I check the sides. I also check for holes in it. So I go through every item, and that's what I've mentioned previously, that if you don't have time to do the whole cupboard, set aside some time and then just like one shelf at a time, because you have to do it properly. So I will go through it, I will check it, and then I will see, okay, this one is fine, there's no holes in it, there's no more frills on here, and also there's no fluff that needs to be removed from the shirt. And then if I'm sure that this shirt still fits him, I will then just fold it up again. Basically, that is what I do with all the shirts. If I'm not sure that an item still fits him, I will keep that on the side, and then when he gets back from school, he hates it, then he must fit on the clothing that I can see if it still fits him and what I still need to buy for him. So once I'm done checking and I see there is a little hole in here, I will then just keep it aside and give it to the nanny to fix it for us. And then, so that will go into that pile. If it is something that needs a major fix, it will go into the bag, into the boot, and I will take it to the menders. And if it is just completely not wearable, I will just throw it in the bin, and I will make a list of the things that I need to buy. Okay, so what I'm doing is I go through it, then I put them in different piles. So if it needs fixing, it goes onto a pile. If it's shirts that I know is too small for him, like these ones, I put it on the side. Now he's got a younger brother, and sometimes I do hand-me-downs to him if it's still in a very good condition. Then I will give it to the younger brother, otherwise I will give it to my charity of choice. This is one of his favorite shirts. He bought it in Quessenberg. It says, "I'm not lazy, I just really enjoy doing nothing." That sums up this child of mine brilliantly. This one I'm not too sure if it's still going to fit him. He bought it 2 years ago and he is growing at a very fast pace. So I'm going to put this on a separate pile that he needs to fit it on to see whether it still fits him. Right, just make sure if you have any t-shirts that's in the washing that you check those clothing items before it goes back into the cupboard, then you know you've gone through all the clothing. Then secondly, I will just quickly show you here how I fold my t-shirts. So I just lay it flat, make sure that there's no creases in there, and then I just turn it like that. So you have that little piece there, and then the same goes for this one. Just stop right there, make sure that's it's not creased, and you just fold it over, and then it's done. I saw on the internet the other day a video on how to fold your t-shirt in 2 seconds, and it was like this. Okay, then these are my different piles. This is the pile that's been checked and they still fit him and it will go back into the cupboard. Then this one needs to be checked with him, so he needs to fit that one on for me. And then this pile is definitely too small for him. So this will either go to the younger brother or to charity, and that I will now take to the brother's room. He can see if he wants it, and if not, it will then go downstairs to my car for delivery to the choice of charity. And then I've got this pile here that needs mending, so I will give that to the nanny so that she can fix that for us. And then that is how I then deal with the t-shirts. Just a tip on when you unpack your child's cupboard, if it is really in a mess, I would then suggest that you categorize it. So as you pack the things out of the shelves and it's a t-shirt and a short and underwear all in the same shelf, then just have different piles on the bed. So then that's your first clearing or sorting out. So you will then categorize the items that's in the cupboard, and then once you've got the different categories, you will then go through the clothing items as I've showed you. Now, to sort out a clothing cupboard can get very boring, and it can also be you can also get despondent. So for you to know that you are making progress, I will then suggest that you then take the pile that you're done with, and once you've washed out the cupboard and it's dry, you then put this back into the cupboard on the specific shelf where it belongs. And then the same goes for this. I will now take this to the nanny so that she can fix that for him. And this pile will go onto the youngest brother's bed, so when he gets back from school, he can then see what he wants. So by doing that on a continuous basis, this pile of clothing will get less, and you will also see progress because you can look into the shelf and say, okay, I am getting ahead and I'm making progress. So that is what I then suggest on how to do it. Now the same rule applies with the shorts and the swimming costumes and the underwear. So you go through it, check for holes, check for stains, check for the size, etc. And then while I do that and I do throw things out, I then make a list of what I need to buy. At the same time, look at the bedding of that specific bedroom, go through the sheets, go through the duvet covers, go through the quality of the inner of the duvet, go through the quality of the pillow and the mattress, and then you check whether any of that needs fixing or replacement. One tends to just keep on replacing the sheets on a, now in Cape Town we do it on a 2-weekly basis because we have drought, and you sometimes don't look at the quality of the bedding anymore. And then the same goes for the towels that your children and yourself use. Check that to see whether it's still in a good condition and it doesn't look tattered. If then, throw it away or use it as a cloth, and then you then replace that. Next up we have his pajamas. I put on the same pile the summer pajamas as well as the winter pajamas, and so it's then quite important to check the winter pajamas because we are going into those seasons soon, and so just to see whether it's still in a good condition and whether it's right. So I'll go through the pajamas, and with this one there's somehow miraculously a big hole in this pants and I won't be able to fix it. So I think what one can do is then cut that off and then put a seam in and then give it to charity, because otherwise there's nothing wrong with it. And then that top goes with that one, so it will just go. So you'll see that he had 3 pairs of pajamas. I've thrown 2 out, so I must definitely replace it by 2. If this one doesn't fit him, then I will add the number to 3. So on my list I will just write times 2 winter PJs. So that goes onto the list. And at the same time, this must also go onto the pile that he needs to fit on. The fact that I do this exercise towards the end of summer is usually the clothing items in the stores change quite quickly. So while we still have very high degrees of summer, they are already starting to put out the winter clothing. So then by now I already know that I need to buy winter pajamas. So when I get to the shop and I see that they have winter pajamas, I can buy it. Because usually what happens when you in winter realize that you need pajamas, then all the nice ones are already gone. Okay, so that goes down to another pile, and then the same exercise goes for his summer pajamas. The other pants are in the wash, so once they come from the washing, I will then check them before they go back into the cupboard. So again, now we're done with this, it's going to go back into the cupboard. This is going to go for charity and for fixing. Next up, we've got the socks. I've got these containers that I buy at Woolworths. I'm sure you can get them at any storage shop. They're very useful for items such as socks, and it doesn't lie around in the cupboard. So I've got two types. The one is for school socks and the other one is for the weekend socks. So what you will do is the same exercise. You will open them all up. You will check them for holes. If you do have lots of fluff on the sock, then you can just use one of these items. Be very careful, and then you just give it a bit of a shave. All the fluff comes off and your sock looks brand new. You can do this on most of your clothing items. I do it on their school jerseys as well. Just have to be very careful. I've also done it on this pillow, and then it looks brand new again. Once done, it goes back into the container. And you will do the same for the weekend socks. So once you're done sorting through all the clothing items and made a decision on them, it is important then to clean up after yourself to make sure that everything is back as when you started, and then also make sure that everything goes back into the cupboard. The things that needs fixing goes to the boot, or if you can fix it yourself, then that must be fixed. The clothing that must be donated must go into a bag and then also into your car, and then things that must be thrown away will get thrown away immediately. Never leave with unfinished business after you have done the sorting and the decluttering. If you have unfinished business, it will just pile up again and you will sit with the same clutter as before you started. And then, as I mentioned before, labeling the shelves is a good idea. Then everybody knows which item must go into which shelf, and by doing that, the cupboards will then most likely stay neat and tidy. You can have a 2-weekly inspection of your child's cupboard together with your child. If it's not correct, he must then fix it himself or herself, and by doing that you then also create a sense of order and organization with your child. If you've liked this video, then please press like, share and subscribe. You can also follow me via my blog, Instagram and Facebook. Happy organizing!